Welcome to Options Beyond High School. My name is Kurt Reeser, and I'm the Training and Development Specialist at the Office of Student Access and Completion, or OSAC, and I'll be your guide for this presentation today. This presentation is designed to provide an overview of several popular post-secondary pathways, including apprenticeships, colleges and universities, community colleges, entering the workforce, and enlisting in the military service. Since this is an overview presentation, we will not be going into significant details for each of these pathways. The first pathway we're going to talk about is apprenticeships. Apprenticeships are probably the least known pathway that we'll talk about, and that's kind of a shame because they're really unique and really interesting. Apprenticeships offer a mix of classroom education and on-the-job training for a specific career, usually in the trades. Apprenticeships can be short, maybe less than a year, or a little bit longer, maybe more than 4. It really depends on the specific apprenticeship you join. The really cool thing about apprenticeships is that they pay you while you're in the program, and that as you progress through the program, your pay increases. In a way, the more you know, the more you earn. Finally, one really important aspect of apprenticeships is that they can be really competitive to get into. All right, let's learn some more. When we talk about how apprenticeships work, it's important to state from the start that each program is different and may have different processes and procedures. So if you're interested in apprenticeships, you should probably do some research. But in general, this is how many, not all, apprenticeships work. You usually have some combination of an application, interview, and possibly a skills test. These are all reviewed, and from that, you're given a score. Then you're put on a wait list while you wait for openings in the program. Your score determines how long you stay on the list. And honestly, you can stay on the list for less than a year, a couple months, or longer, maybe more than a year. It really depends on the program and the job demand. The big takeaway here are 2 things. 1, prepare for the application, interview, and test, and we'll talk about that more in a second. And 2 is research, research, research. Each program is different, and they are looking for different qualities and skills in applicants. The more you know about what the program is looking for, the better off you'll be. Okay, now that you're all officially on Team Apprenticeship, what can you do to prepare for one? Here are some tips. Classes matter. It's important to select classes that align to your career goals. This may mean taking a shop or engineering class. Do well in math. A common myth is that you don't need advanced math if you're entering the trades. Some apprenticeship programs have math requirements like passing Algebra 1 or geometry with at least a C or better. Extracurricular activities. Extracurricular activities are also important. Participating in sports and clubs can demonstrate that you have the physical fitness and teamwork skills needed to do well in apprenticeship programs. Build a resume. When building a resume, make sure to include any relevant work, paid experience, or volunteering. Job shadow. If possible, participating in job shadows can help you determine if a job is something that you are particularly interested in pursuing. It can also signal to a potential employer that you're serious about pursuing an apprenticeship program. License. Many apprenticeship programs require a driver's license and CPR first aid. If you're interested in learning more about apprenticeship programs, you can find more information at your local community college, the website OregonApprenticeship.org, local unions, and pre-apprenticeship programs. Okay, apprenticeships are great and really cool, but maybe you're looking for something a little different. No problem, because we're going to shift gears and talk about colleges and universities. To start off, we're going to talk about 4-year colleges and universities, and we'll talk about community colleges in a second. So remember how I said that there are lots of different types of apprenticeship programs? Well, there's also lots of different types of colleges and universities, including public schools, private schools, community colleges, out-of-state colleges, historically Black colleges and universities, tribal colleges, Hispanic serving institutions, Ivy League schools, Division I schools, private career technical colleges, and more. Great, so you're super excited about going to college. In that case, we should probably talk about the application process. If you want to go to college, one of the first things you will need to do is apply for admissions. Now hold on, because this is where things become a little bit of a choose-your-own adventure. Many schools have different types of admissions, each with a different consequence. Let's explore some of these types of admissions. Early decision. These applications are binding, which means that the applicant who is accepted as an early decision is contractually obligated to attend that college and must withdraw all other university applications. Early action. Applicants are not binding. Applicants receive an early admissions notification, but do not have to commit to the college until May 1st. Regular decision. The vast majority of applications will have one regular decision deadline that occurs in January or February. These deadlines may also be called priority deadlines, and admitted students have until May 1st to commit. Rolling decision. Typically, admissions applications are accepted all year round until all incoming spots have been filled. Now, once you've decided on the type of admissions you're going for, you'll need to complete an application packet, and this may include an application, possibly an essay, admissions requirements, school transcripts, letters of recommendation, and possibly test scores. Some of this should sound familiar because we talked about it during our conversation about apprenticeships. Just like apprenticeships, colleges want to make sure you're taking the appropriate classes, including some math. Some apprenticeships, just like colleges, may also require a letter of recommendation. Ready for some tips on applying for college? Good, because that's what we're going to cover on this slide. In order to prepare the best college admissions packet possible, you should always read the instructions carefully, as well as proofread and spell check all material. Additionally, it isn't a bad idea to email your college just to verify that everything is received and they don't need additional information. We mentioned earlier that colleges have lots of deadlines, and it's important to stay organized to meet those deadlines. If you're in an Aspire school, you may consider using the Aspire Pocket Planner or college planning checklist to stay organized. Finally, consider applying to a variety of schools. Community colleges. I love that community colleges is in the middle of this presentation because they are, in a really cool way, kind of the link to almost everything else we talk about in this presentation. Looking to get a job? Maybe go to a community college and earn a certificate, which takes less than a year. Want a job maybe with more money, or maybe you want to go to college now for 4 years? Think about an associate degree, which is a college degree that takes about 2 years to complete. Some community colleges are even starting to offer bachelor's degrees, which are 4-year degrees you typically see in a college or university. You can also start at a community college and earn a transfer degree and move over to a college or university. And finally, some community colleges house programs to help you prepare for apprenticeship programs, or actually house apprenticeship programs themselves on campus. Here are some basic facts about community colleges in Oregon. Oregon has 17 colleges in nearly every corner of the state, which means that you probably have a community college somewhere near you. Some community colleges have multiple campuses, and a few even have on-campus living options. Interested in enrolling at a community college? Great, because here are some tips. 1. Research. Just like apprenticeship programs and 4-year colleges and universities, you need to research your community colleges to make sure that they have the programs that match your interest. 2, if you're still in high school, make sure to apply for the Oregon Promise Grant to possibly get some money to pay for community colleges. Finally, if you're interested in starting at a community college and transferring to a 4-year college, make sure you know exactly how that process works. One of the challenges of college is that between all the different types of 4-year and community colleges, you have a ton of options. Here are some things to think about when thinking about college. Programs of study. Do they teach what you want to learn? Do they have ways to help you figure out what to do if you don't know what you want to study? Admissions requirements. Do you know how the admissions process works? Do you know that you can meet the admissions standards? Location. Can you see yourself living at the school? It's important to consider if you like an urban, rural, or suburban community. School size. Is the school population too big or too small? Cost. Can you afford to go to school here? How much financial aid do they offer? Clubs, activities, and sports. How will you spend your free time? Do they have the things you enjoy doing? Student population. What does the campus population look like? Do you see yourself represented there? Before we talk about our final two pathways, we need to quickly talk about paying for college. Apprenticeships, employment, and military service all pay you or allow you to earn money. Colleges are the opposite. You pay to go to them. But it isn't entirely doom and gloom. Oregon has several financial aid opportunities that can help make college more affordable, including things like the Oregon Promise Grant, Oregon Opportunity Grant, and scholarships. Financial aid is a complex topic and is literally a whole other presentation we offer. So for now, just know that we have some ideas on how to help you pay for college. By now we've talked about 3 of the 5 post-secondary pathways, which means it's time to talk about entering the workforce and getting a job. Like everything else we talked about in this presentation, it's important to do a little research about a potential job. In general, you should try and find one that pays you enough money so you can pay for things like rent, food, and other supplies. Also, finding a job that matches your lifestyle and provides benefits is also important. Finally, getting a job can actually help you get into an apprenticeship program too, if that's one of your goals. To get a job, you're going to have to do some of the things we've already talked about with apprenticeships in college. You're going to need to do a little research on the potential jobs, then you need to apply and possibly interview. The application process may have up to 3 different parts, including an application, just like colleges and apprenticeships, a resume, and a cover letter. If you need help building a resume or cover letter, you might think about using the OSAC Scholarship Activities Chart to help you figure out what skills or experiences to highlight. Now, before we talk about military service, I want to leave you with a few questions to think about as you explore getting a job. Think about the career trajectory. Does the job lead to another one, or is it a dead-end job? What does it take to get a promotion or advance in the company? And is that job in demand? And will it be difficult to find a job in that field? These are all important questions to consider as you research potential jobs and careers. Okay, we've covered apprenticeships, colleges, universities, community colleges, and entering the workforce. And now it's time to talk about the final post-secondary pathway included in our presentation, enlisting in military service. There are 6 branches of service you could join, including the Air Force, Army, Coast Guard, Navy, Marines, and the newest branch, Space Force. Within each of these branches, there are many different ways to serve. You could enlist full-time service, join an ROTC program in college, enroll in a military academy, or serve part-time in the National Guard or Reserves. Like all of the post-secondary pathways we've discussed so far, it's important to do some research about the branch of military service you're interested in joining and about their particular enlistment process. However, in general, many of the branches follow a similar process, including taking the ASVAB test. The Armed Service Vocational Aptitude Battery is a test that covers reading, writing, math, science, mechanical reasoning, and more, and is used to help place you in a military career. Many branches have a physical fitness test, and may require you to meet with a career counselor to review your test results. Next, you may report to a military entrance processing station to complete your enlistment process. Then you take your oath of service where you vow to defend the Constitution, and finally report to basic training. If you're interested in joining a branch of military service, here are some basic tips. 1. Study for the ASVAB, including your math. 2. Get in good physical shape or stay in good physical shape, and practice your running. Stay drug-free. Join an ROTC, scouting, or other leadership program. Research military careers and research possible benefits you could get from joining the military. We've provided a very quick, very general overview of several different post-secondary pathways. And here are some final things to consider. Think about your social media footprint. 70% of jobs said that they didn't hire someone because of an online footprint. Next, make sure to use your legal name on all important documents, so things like applications, resumes, and financial aid paperwork. When you're in school, try to take classes that align to your future plans and create a professional email and voicemail and make sure you check them. Finally, if you need help, talk with someone, maybe a career counselor or an aspiring mentor or coordinator. Thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to check out OregonStudentAid.gov for more information and additional resources.